Welcome back. We're ready to go. That includes Andy Gray and Martin Tyler.
Thank you, Richard. Ipswich Town to kick off. They started the season with 3 successive wins. Since then, 5 league games without a win. Their early impetus stopped rather by injuries to Ian Marshall and Paul Mason, their new signings. Tottenham's away form has been excellent. Wins at Newcastle and Liverpool, a draw at Sheffield United. A narrow defeat at Aston Villa.
Well, you and I talked about it, Martin. Would Stephen Carr get an early or an easy ride early on? I think Mick McGivern's changed it totally. He said to Steve Whitton, you go play left side. He's got a huge height advantage against young Stephen Carr. That he can see, but he's also saying to him, go and test him early on.
And you would applaud him for that, as seizing the initiative, as we were talking about beforehand. There is the young Dublin-born right back, 17 years old, signed as a full professional since Ozzy Ardiles came to the club. Dozzell, how will the crowd react to him? Calderwood, who, along with Gary Mabbutt, have formed an excellent central partnership so far for Spurs, and Sol Campbell has fitted in neatly at left-back. Youth on both flanks of the defence for Tottenham this afternoon. Some boos now for Dozzell, who actually lives still in Ipswich, but has confessed to Tottenham being his first love as a boy. Here is Dozzell. Sheringham, good save. Tottenham announcing their intentions within 2 minutes.
Well, I said he wouldn't be restricted getting forward, and within 2 minutes, there he is. He knows exactly what he's trying to do there. And Sheringham, ever so alert as always, brings out a fine save from Forrest.
Anderton takes the corner. Sheringham again going in.
The movement's so good, Martin, in the midfield area from Spurs, and it is so difficult. And this was just proved in this little... You see Milton struggling to get back with Dozzell. And they're all at sea there, and I think Craig Forrest is thankful that that one goes straight at him.
Martin. Mabbutt across. Dozzell just a little short with that pass. Encouraged Simon Milton to go for the ball, but according to the referee, he didn't get it. Here's Carr. Craig Forrest accepting that we were going to rerun that Jason Cundy goal a few times this afternoon with good humour and good spirit, so he'll be pleased to have got a useful save under his belt in the opening stages here. Anderton, Sheringham calling for it. Campbell coming in from even deeper, but Sheringham was leaning on Stockwell. I'm just watching how quickly Stockwell gets up, because he was certainly a major doubt for this match on Friday. The problem, a sore hip. Gerald Ashby is this afternoon's referee. But there is great passion between the two sets of supporters for this fixture. And the Ipswich fans encouraging Mason here. Cut out well by Vinnie Samways. Anderton linking up with Dozzell. Carr pushing on from right back. Anderton just making him check with the direction of the pass. Tottenham have 3 in the centre. Carr making it 4 and trying to take it on in his stride. But there was a sweep about the Tottenham style then that was easy on the eye.
Certainly an ominous opening spell, this, for Ipswich. It really is. They look bang at it, Tottenham. They really do. Every one of them looks bright, alert, wanting the ball. And the important thing for me when you pass the ball a lot is you don't overplay too much. You've still got to have a cutting edge at the end of it. And so far, Tottenham have looked to have that.
I think the real rivalry between these two sides goes back to the early 60s. Tottenham were champions, of course, double winners in 1961. They lost their title to Alf Ramsey's Ipswich. The following year, that was a real shock. Kiwomya. Whitton. He's a very clean striker of the ball, Steve Whitton, with either foot.
That was better. Good link-up play. Kiwomya picks him out beautifully. Lovely little pass. And Steve Whitton, we all know, will shoot from absolutely anywhere.
Linighan, David Linighan, that is. I'll make that point for the viewers and for Andy.
Thank you. He'll get called Andy before the day's out, I'm sure of it.
Well, you wait till the younger Linighan brothers, the twins at Sheffield Wednesday, John and Brian, come into the equation as well. Stockwell in quickly. It's a throw. It's Samways for Spurs. Excellent movement again ahead of Calderwood. He played safe ball, but Sedgley had gone on a forward run. They were keeping the shape. Carr does look very composed. Anderton. What a difference between the shy, stumbling figure we saw when we covered this fixture at the start of last season. Campbell. Sedgley. And John Wark stepping in. Thompson, who's a left back with a real buccaneering sense to his football. Well, Thorstvedt could be in trouble here. Kiwomya was on the scene very quickly. Calderwood's back pass. Thorstvedt survived. Trying to put out of his mind, of course, the sending off that he had in the World Cup on Wednesday in Oslo. What in the end was a very good night for Norway. Kiwomya, Whitton. Thorstvedt has to kick again and needed the elevation then to get it over Kiwomya. Must be an offside here against the Ipswich number 11.
Mick McGivern will be a little bit happier now. It's a better couple of minutes for his side there. I think what they can look for Ipswich is that if Tottenham are enjoying so much possession, both full-backs are very tempted to go forward, even when the ball's not on their side. I noticed Sol Campbell's over the halfway line already. And what can happen for Ipswich is if they're patient and they win the ball back, and if both strikers are willing, there will be gaps down the sides of the centre-backs for them to run into. Kiwomya has got pace to hurt people.
That was Anderton trying to hurt Ipswich from Sheringham's pass. It's a real zip about the early minutes here. Thompson. Mabbutt alongside Marshall. Comes off Geraint Williams. Linighan. Thompson driving forward again. Oh, the referee not helping Calderwood. Dozzell taking over. I said he was a boyhood Spurs fan, but of course as a schoolboy he was playing for Ipswich, his debut at 16. More than 350 games the club he faces this afternoon. And he's still only 25. Mabbutt somewhat longer in the tooth, but still in excellent form. Sedgley. Here's Sheringham. He spotted Anderton. It's a difficult pass, but Sheringham has made light of that. Anderton trying to whip one, I think more towards goal perhaps than towards where Dozzell ended up, trying to find a gap beyond the long right arm of Craig Forrest.
That was definitely a shot at goal, no doubt. Look at the way he keeps himself onside. We often talk about looking across the line, you should never be offside. Anderton does that ever so well. He's looking to bend this into the corner. It doesn't really test the goalkeeper.
Durie. Here's Geraint Williams, who's worked with Ipswich last season, got him back in the Welsh squad. His first season here after a long spell at Derby. Marshall. Kiwomya. Came a bit quickly to Mason.
He did really well to deal with it, Paul Mason. He rifled it at him, Ian Marshall. But that's the little combination I think they're looking for now with Marshall there. He's a target, a little flick on, and Kiwomya was ever so alert around about him.
Marshall, a goal a game, 4 in 4 in the Premiership since his move from Oldham. Nice turn by Neil Thompson. Here's Whitton. Milton going ahead of him, leaving space for Whitton to go into. Trying to pick out Marshall as he made his move across in front of Mabbutt. But as you said earlier, Andy, Ian Marshall does give them something they didn't have last season, a bit of pace and a bit of power up there.
I think power is the optimal word you're looking for there, without a doubt. I always thought they were a little bit light in that department. But Marshall gives them that. He's big and he's raw at times. And he has that aggression, if you like, that was missing last year. I just don't know if it takes something away from him defensively, Mark. And that'll be the thing as the season goes on, because I know Paul Goddard worked ever so hard as part of a team to defend. And perhaps Ian Marshall doesn't do that job as well.
Yes, in terms of speed, of course, Kiwomya is very, very quick, but at times when the going gets very earnest, he can look a little on the lightweight side. They're worried here, the fans, that he might be leaving. But he's been involved with suggestions that his contract up, he might see a more glamorous move, but he's got to be scoring the goals to get that.
I think that's spot on. He won't be going anywhere until he starts scoring again.
Just the one so far this season. It rescued a point for Ipswich here against Newcastle. Newcastle, everyone connected with Ipswich would agree, played Ipswich off the pitch that night. They couldn't get the goals that their approach to it deserved. It finished 1-1. Kiwomya got a late equaliser. Williams trying to get it up to Marshall, taken from behind by Calderwood, and that type of tackle has irritated the referee. It's hurt Marshall. It's a booking.
Look at Batten. I'm not surprised that Gerald Ashby's reaching for his bookmark. A centre-halves are bigger for the people. They do it in this type of area when there's no real danger to their own goal. You know, 10 yards in the opponent's half. And I think Gerald Ashby saying early on, I'm not going to stand for any more of that. I'd like to have seen Ian Marshall pull the other way though. He dragged Colin Calderwood deep, just spun off there to his right and gone down the channels. Then the long ball there would have given them certainly more trouble.
So the free kick to be taken by John Wark. Thompson meets it. Comes to Milton. Ball was late. Stockwell. Wark, who has played in midfield this season, but I think at his time of life he's more comfortable at the back. Milton. Marshall. In the way was Mabbutt. This is Samways. Durie coming deep. Whitton stuck out a foot. Milton and Williams, very eager central midfield players. Thompson. Milton on the left at the moment. Kiwomya showing strength there against Calderwood and against Carr. Milton. And the ball really didn't quite have enough pace on it for Whitton to get maximum power with the header. He had to add the pace to it, and he couldn't get it beyond Thorstvedt.
This is the best piece of football Ipswich have put together in this match. He has to dig the cross out. You're absolutely right. There's no pace on the ball, and Steve Whitton has to generate that on his own. He gets under his feet a little bit there, Milton, but he digs it out beautifully. The only thing lacking there was the power, as you said.
But the early signs are that this should be a showpiece for the connoisseur. The willingness to get the ball down and pass it, very obvious for both sides. Marshall. Kiwomya. Thompson. They won't want to let him get within range for a possible shot with that left foot. It's a delicate ball, won well by Kiwomya. And Geraint Williams still looking for his first goal for Ipswich.
They've settled now, Ipswich, they really have. First 5 minutes, all the movements seem to be disturbing them. But they've got themselves together now and they're starting to ask 1 or 2 questions of their own. I think what's important when a team's got as much movement as Tottenham possesses is talking. We often talk about that, but being in conversation with each other, especially the back four and the midfield who are dropping off, it's important that you're talking to each other, letting them know who's got who's picking up who, and that can make your job so much easier.
Thompson again, there's no offside here. Mabbutt saw to that. Marshall with a ball that's picked up by Mason on the far side. Cross deflected. Knocked out by Samways, retrieved here for Ipswich by Mick Stockwell. Mason. Milton, it's a good try. Lined it up. Lashed it goalwards. Thorstvedt saw it coming.
Lovely football yet again from Ipswich. Nothing frantic about it at all. Culture, composed. Look, watch this. Super little ball from Stockwell to Mason. Little touchdown. Simon Milton won't hit many better than that. I remember seeing him score a goal from that type of range against Blackburn last season at Ewood Park, and he didn't hit that one any better than that.
Carr. Milton, of course, also scored here on Tuesday against Cambridge. Durie did well. Sedgley chasing. He's been getting into scoring positions, as we've been saying, following in on things. His goals, I think, have all come from a matter of inches rather than yards.
You still only get 1 for it.
But it's the type of position that those who end up with 20 in a season usually get into. Well, Sedgley maybe has that sort of target in his mind, though. He played here, if memory serves me right, as a centre-back last season. It's much changed Tottenham, of course, on the field and off it since then. Finished 1-1. Ipswich did win at White Hart Lane. Marshall trying to glide it on. Good climb there from Calderwood. Dozzell not being flustered by the attentions of the crowd. Sure, he spent the week preparing himself mentally, but played Carr into trouble. Kiwomya forced wide, and Tottenham had 3 players around him in the end. And Dozzell starts over again. And this time plays it forward rather than back, which you might have expected. One back for Ipswich by Whitton. Tripped by Durie.
The nicest thing you can say about that is it's a typical striker's challenge, I suppose.
A tentative start here by Ipswich, but they're coming to grips with the game. Thompson with a free kick, tempting Thorstvedt off his line. Linighan got to it. Knocked away by Campbell. Stockwell trying to get some angle to this. Whitton to Thompson. Whitton again. It's deflected, and there's nothing Thorstvedt can do about it. Just for a second prior to that, I thought Whitton, who, as Andy was saying earlier, will shoot from anywhere, was going to try and give that some extravagant bend. Well, he had a second thought.
He did pull the trigger, Martin, as it comes in just here. He's going to pull the trigger, but Dozzell just catches him, and that's what delays the shot.
Now Neil Thompson takes a corner as well as anyone at this level from the right-hand side. Wark. Oh, and Linighan, as Mason looked to line the one up to strike for goal. But nearly another opportunity from a Thompson set piece. Carr holding off Kiwomya.
Well, we wondered if Stephen Carr would get an easy ride early on. It certainly looks as if Mick McGivern has said, if we can get most of our attacks down there to start with, because that's certainly been the area they've been probing, and where they've had a bit of joy.
Thompson. Incidentally, David Kerslake has travelled with Tottenham to watch the game. The transfer, I'm told, will go through on Monday morning. Just a question of the money getting into the Leeds United bank account. And Dean Austin is also here acting as cheerleader as well, with his leg in a plaster. 20 minutes gone. Marshall. Thompson getting forward rather too much for Tottenham's liking. Anderton came back with him that time. They've only got Sheringham ahead of Samways on the ball in any sort of position to receive it, although Sedgley's made a move now. Here is Sheringham. Oh, and on a slippery top like this, it's much say to get the ball and give it to feet. Maybe that was what Sheringham was trying to do, but it didn't work out that way. I saw Alan Shearer score for Blackburn yesterday to increase the competition for the front players for England. The World Cup tie in Holland, of course, Messrs Ferdinand and Wright in possession. Sheringham as a substitute, not used against Poland at Wembley. Wark, whose international days are behind him. Kiwomya. Only Marshall in the middle at the moment. Whitton's trying to get there. Campbell with the capacity to recover.
He did well there, Campbell, because he left Gary Mabbutt for dead, just Kiwomya.
That's a rather tentative kick from Thorstvedt. Milton. Whitton, he'd spotted Thompson, couldn't find him. Good interception by Carr. So too much of it to Williams. Well, Campbell came into prominence with the England under-18 team in July, but he's certainly proving his worth at the senior level now for Spurs. Caskey, the captain of that England under-18 team, is a substitute for Tottenham again today, as he has been for most of the season. Samways, just too long for Campbell. Ipswich well aware that they really got into a rut around springtime last season, and it took them right down into the relegation area. Remember, they were 4th in February, and they're hoping now that they can get out of this mini rut very quickly. Mick McGivern admitting that his players found recent games against Arsenal and Aston Villa very difficult indeed. Those two sides seem to have an extra edge. Well, the league table would tell you that they might have. But Spurs can be up there with them, can go up to 3rd if they were to win. There's no respite in this division at all, whoever you play.
That's the way it should be, isn't it?
That's the way it should be. Stockwell. Marshall letting it run. Oh, and Kiwomya was in the centre. He's furious with Marshall.
He's every right to be, Martin. I cannot believe for the life of me Ian Marshall's choice there. I honestly can't. It was a golden opportunity to put your foot on it, slide it across to your strike partner and say, here you go, get yourself going. That's very near an impossible angle. The only way you can justify taking that on is if the ball finds the net. Look at Kiwomya.
The one thing I would say is, I think Kiwomya was offside.
All he needed to do, Mark, was take a touch in it. As soon as he took a touch in the ball, Kiwomya would have been okay. Slide it across the goal, and your team go 1-up.
Here's Thompson. There's a menace about Ipswich at the moment. Linighan. Well, in these conditions, where a shot might skim and gather pace, maybe worth the try. There wasn't too much else on for David Linighan then.
No, there wasn't, but in all honesty, Martin, if a goalkeeper lets one in from there and he wants shooting, although in saying that, I saw a goalkeeper let one in from further than that list fixture last year.
Thorstvedt challenged by Marshall. Game goes on. Look at Samways.
We talked about the talent that Tottenham have in show, but the one thing you must do when you have all that ability on the ball is have it. And they haven't had enough of the ball since the opening 5 minutes, Tottenham, and that's why Ipswich are certainly the team who are asking more and more questions.
Well, you might think of Ipswich somewhat as country cousins. Plenty of Suffolk charm around the place here, but the club has been very competitive in the past. Great deeds, particularly under Alf Ramsey and, of course, Bobby Robson. Craig Forrest was reminding us before the match began of the sending off that he suffered last season. It was exactly a year ago, in fact, when he caught Adrian Littledon and Sheffield United outside the area and had to go very early in the game. Durie trying to give him some work here. Samways, Dozzell played it into an area. I don't think he looked, that's where he expected Durie to be, but he wasn't. Milton, nicely nudged forward from Mason. Hits Campbell. Falls kindly for Spurs and Sheringham. Durie. Anderton holding a very wide position on the near touchline. Durie goes there now. Anderton gets a corner.
Good breaks from both sides there. Ipswich just ran into trouble with having too few men in support and in the box.
Dozzell is good in the air. Anderton is splendid at serving the ball up from any sort of routines at set plays. Yes! The little touch from Teddy Sheringham. And Anderton supplies again. Sheringham scores, keeping up this amazing record. He's got all Tottenham's away goals so far this season.
Well, he deserves to get found out here because they go to sleep totally. Simon Milton's left, totally exposed, 2 against 1. No one comes near it, no one spots it. And from then on in, Sheringham, one of the abilities he has is those little glancing headers. He knows where the goal is. He doesn't put any power in it. He just has to guide it.
The goal in the 28th minute. And Spurs, who started brightly, and then we're beginning to feel something of an Ipswich backlash, but make the most of a corner that Anderton earned himself, worked short, and supplied Sheringham. Not for the first time, and I'm sure not for the last time.
Oh, there'll be an inquest at half-time, I'm sure there will be, about that corner. The reaction was so slow to it.
Have another look at it.
You see the tiny space he's got, and then as soon as that comes in, near post like that, for me, there's only one result. See it again, Sheringham, just a touch. Look at that. It's a glance. He knows where the goal is. And look at the look on John Wark's face, said it all.
You won't get a better view of the art of the scorer than that in that particular instant. Here's Thompson. Whitton. Marshall. Free kick. Pushed by Mabbutt, who claimed that Marshall was jumping with arms out.
There was only one offender there, and that was you, Gary boy, I'm afraid.
Free kick taken quickly, trying to isolate Carr in the air against Whitton, I'm sure, as Andy said. Mick McGivern realised that as soon as he got the Tottenham team sheet. Anderton. Good honest challenge there by Geraint Williams. Mason taken on by Milton. More signs of Ipswich stirring here. Spurs recognising that. Anderton's foul. And then it's given away by Thompson. Kiwomya, support from midfield. Mason more in the middle at the moment. Stockwell. Williams. Milton breaking to the right. Mason ahead of him. Let's get a word from Nick Collins down on the touchline.
Martin McGivern could see that goal coming, because from the corner he was up on his feet screaming at his players to watch out for that particular Spurs set piece, and his worst fears were realised, weren't they?
Absolutely. Brian Clew, one of his coaching staff alongside him there. Durie. Steering it well to Campbell. Oh, Sedgley. And Ipswich had allowed Sedgley to get in there onside.
I'm not sure Sol Campbell was actually trying to pick out Steve Sedgley as such, but it certainly found its way through there.
Little touch from Marshall, anticipated well by Kiwomya, the two front men linking up until Marshall loses the ball and then is spoken to because he was a bit frustrated after that and caught Calderwood. So we saw Campbell going forward. Carr has tried to do it, although you can't blame him if he's a little bit reticent in that respect on his Premiership debut. But again, it's part of the way Aussie Ardiles sees the game being played. And it's contributed to a very entertaining first half an hour or so here.
Just a little
Dozzell.
shout to turn for Chris Kiwomya there, and he was in acres. All about the importance of talking to your players there.
Anderton. Thompson. A bit too powerful for Samways. Dozzell sliding in. Spurs leading by what is, I can tell you, officially Sheringham's 8th goal of the season. Been one or two debates about earlier matches. And 6 of them away from home. Great record, great ratio. Managers would love to have forwards who can get away goals as regularly as that. On the other side of the coin, Gordon Durie hasn't scored an away goal in the league now since April of last year. Getting on for 18 months, but maybe his day will come this afternoon. Williams. Stockwell. Gone astray. Referee not helping Samways.
He's played well there, hasn't he? 2 great touches he's had on the ball.
2 out of 2. Here's Campbell. Sheringham taking his time and just teasing Stockwell. Campbell driving it across, and then against header, Sedgley trying to slide it through where Sheringham was still waiting. Good control by Geraint Williams, known to everybody in the game as George. Taken on by Marshall. It's another trip. And Ian Marshall, of course, has played plenty of times in the past as a defender. He's used to going in for tackles. We can't give him the excuse of being a forwards challenge, as we tried to do for Gordon Durie earlier in the game. Calderwood. Samways, Sedgley through the centre. Marshall from Milton. Campbell. It was difficult to deal with for Durie. It was a good try. Anderton is out there on the left at the moment. Hung up by Thompson. That's that ball from left back.
That's where they've just had a feeling today. At the final third of the pitch, looking for that decisive pass into the area to give one of their attacking players a chance.
Goes from left to right again, won by Marshall. Paul Mason, whose goal-scoring attributes in Scotland include a couple in a Skull Cup final to beat Rangers.
What is here?
For Aberdeen. I don't think Ipswich fans have quite seen the best of him. He has scored this season, but Aberdeen, you tended to regard him as a regular goal threat. He was used, as I said earlier, in a great number of positions, including an out-and-out striker. Samways. Knocked away by the head of Stockwell. Whitton. Well, it was good passing again from Ipswich until they lengthened. Carr cut it off, no foul. This is Kiwomya. Still Kiwomya. And the block was from Calderwood. Tottenham just hesitated for a moment. In hesitating, could have lost their lead.
Well, when you play from the back, almost 100%, you do give your opponents a chance to nick the ball off you, and if they do that when you're only 20 or 30 yards from your own goal, then you really are struggling. I think Ozzy accepts that as part of his, you know, the chance he takes by encouraging his team to pass it from everywhere.
More football from the FA Carling Premiership. Tomorrow night, of course, our Monday night game, Wimbledon riding high against Jerry Francis's Queen's Park Rangers. Sheringham. Another London clubs leading here. Tottenham Hotspur through Teddy Sheringham. A goal to the good on a wet afternoon in Suffolk. But when it does come along from Calderwood, Sheringham have made a run that wasn't tracked by Ipswich. Anderton, Dozzell in the centre, Durie is there as well. Here's Samways, everything in front of him. He uses Carr. Well, can Ipswich capitalise on the inexperience of the young Tottenham right back there? Williams. Stockwell. It was Mason, rather, Stockwell coming from the right-hand side now. But Durie can take it up to Tottenham on the counter-attack. Campbell supporting Sheringham. Durie. Well, Sheringham might be able to set up something here for Dozzell. Well, there was patience for Tottenham in the build-up, and then very nearly penetration at the end of it.
Well, that's what they've done today. They've passed it about very comfortably, but when the occasion has lent itself to go forward and won, they've done that. And they've had people prepared to break forward from that midfield area, and Sedgley and Dozzell and Durie to get in there. But I watched Arsenal play this Tottenham side, the same sort of formation, Martin. They opted to go in differently by putting them under pressure all over the pitch. what it seems to me is that Ipswich have said, well, we'll let you have possession and we'll drop off as 2 units of 4 and 4 and try and stop you that way. But I just think if you give Tottenham that much time to get the confidence going with their passing, they'll eventually hurt you and eventually punish you.
That was willing work from Whitton, earning Ipswich a free kick as we move into the final 5 minutes of the first half. The old warrior, John Wark, has come up. Watched, though, by Sheringham. That was weak from Williams.
The major reason why they haven't really tested Eric Thorstvedt, apart from 2 long-range efforts.
Here's Carr. Spurs still have it. Anderton. And my word, that was important. But Paul Mason reached that one.
It was always going to be a difficult chance for Terry Sheringham because the ball just sits as it reaches him. And that would have been difficult to control. But nevertheless, you're right, it was a great tackle. Great defending from Paul Mason. Knew he was in trouble. Manages to get his toe to it.
Anderton's corner. And the melee, Gary Mabbutt.
I think Calderwood actually missed it, Martin. It came through to him all the way. Didn't get anything on it.
Anderton.
Oh. Well, that's an even better touch.
It was an admirable cross because he really had to work to get the strength to deliver so deep, and it was very nearly deep enough for Sheringham. Very nearly.
That was classic Sheringham. I talked about his ability to attack near post. He's already showed us that with his goal. But just the way he dropped off David Linighan there was superb.
Marshall, that was anticipated well by Mabbutt, who scored the last time that Spurs won here, almost 9 years ago now.
Well, they were slow to react at the corner that they lost the goal, and once again, the first person to react was a Tottenham player. Ball was in the air for a long time. Mabbutt acts quickest and almost makes him pay.
Dozzell losing out in the tackle the first time, and then he had to rather lash out the second time and was penalised properly for it. Here's Thompson. Milton. Williams. Paul Mason on the right-hand side. Tricking Campbell beautifully. Well, it came off Marshall, but it was just too high for Kiwomya.
Great skill from Paul Mason, really was to be admired. Round one side with the ball, himself round the other, and immediately puts the cross into the danger area. Good defending, has to be said, though.
Well, for all the purity of their passing game, Tottenham aren't a soft touch at the back, and the management team very pleased, particularly with the way that Calderwood has bedded in. And they can't have too many complaints about Stephen Carr and his defending. He's rationed his movement forward. Offside.
That was tight, Martin. That was very tight. Gary Mabbutt took a gamble there because Colin Calderwood had gone in with Ian Marshall. Ian Marshall made the first run nearest the ball. And Colin Calderwood, you see on the left of your screen, he goes with them. Now that doesn't look offside to me. Gary Mabbutt stays up, but the linesman gives him a benefit.
Durie. Well, the good contingent of Tottenham supporters, many of whom wouldn't find this a particularly long journey, living on the Essex side of London. will feel that their travelling in the rain has been worthwhile so far. Sheringham might have scored in the opening moments of the game. Forrest prevented it then, but could do nothing about the one goal that we have on the scoreline so far from Tottenham's leading scorer. Wark possibly wasn't quite aware of where Sheringham was. Kiwomya. Dozzell. Carr. Well, Ipswich have played well here in patches, but Tottenham have turned on the style from time to time, and Teddy Sheringham has struck at half-time at Portman Road. Ipswich Town 0, Tottenham Hotspur 1. Used to grace in his time. Spurs are making a substitution. Darren Caskey, under the new regulations, is coming on for Steve Carr. This has to take place on the halfway line so that the spectators can be aware. This is because of the squad numbers, where there's no obvious identification through the numbers as to who is a substitute. Spurs have Caskey coming on number 20, 12 and 14, the sub-numbers from past years, of course, worn from the start by Dozzell and Sedgley. Maybe that explains for you the need to do this.
Well, you've got to find the numbers for them, haven't you? There they go.
So it is 20 for 27. Sol Campbell goes to right back, Steve Sedgley to left back, and Darren Caskey will play in midfield. Tottenham with a one-goal lead to defend, to try and add to. That will be the Aussie Ardiles way, I'm sure. Anderton beaten by Thompson. Knocked back by Marshall.
Just wonder if there was any injury to Stephen Carr, Martin. Like, he did work tremendously hard in the first half, and Ray Clements was saying how he was taken off in the midweek game. Didn't last the full game, so I wonder if it was tactical. Maybe Aussie felt the young kid had worked very, very hard, and now is the time to be a little, should I say it, a touch more defensive than normal?
Well, Steve Carr certainly hasn't let Spurs down. Pressed in at a very early stage in his career into the senior side. While he's been on the pitch in a League Cup tie, in a Premiership game, they haven't conceded a goal. Can't ask for more than that from one of your defenders. Anderton. Oh, it's a rather weak one from Williams. Durie. Campbell going in. Fouled. Get a quick word from Nick Collins.
Martin, just to tell you that the reason for the substitution was that young Steve Carr has a slight thigh strain. That's why he's not reappeared for the second half. Just also to let you know that the local police had a quick word with Aussie Ardiles when he came out for the start of the second half, because he'd been standing up in the dugout. Basically, he was told he should sit down. Well, he's just done it there.
Let me take a look at this. It's a nasty one. Steve Whitton, I think, the guilty man here. Sol Campbell just a little bit too quick for him here. You can see that. Always looks worse in slow motion, doesn't it?
You did see there, I think Whitton raised an arm in instinctive apology. I don't think it was anything malicious.
Just beaten to the ball, that was it. That was as simple as that, Mark, I think.
Case of the younger man. So Spurs have the free kick. Anderton takes. Whipped away by Milton. Caskey. Sedgley, player of many parts. Tottenham, of course, have been one of the clubs in the past linked with a ban on transfers during the season. They did certainly support it in the Terry Venables' time there. But, of course, now they need a new right-back. They've gone out and bought one. They wouldn't have been able to do that if they'd carried their will with the other clubs.
They wanted a new left-back, but Sol Campbell's put those plans on ice for a while. I think that's what that no transfer does, Martin. It encourages you to pick your youngsters earlier than you might have done.
Yes, it's certainly, from footballing terms, got merit. From crowd appeal, I'm not sure. I think getting a new signing in the middle of the season can really lift a club. Oh, Milton could have possibly lifted Ipswich with a pass out to Mason on the right then that he didn't see. Offside. Here's today's attendance. Well, that's more than 4,000 above the average this season here at Portman Road. Sedgley. Not quite in Darren Anderton's class with the cross.
Not quite in sync, was he there?
Dozzell. Would love to be a winner this afternoon. Anderton. Campbell giving him the angle.
Williams and Forrest
Almost deceiving each other then. Dozzell was chasing in. The outcome is a corner.
This is a horrible one for anybody to have to deal with. Defender and goalkeeper. What do I do? Do I let it go? Does my keeper got it? Oh, what a decision that was.
Mabbutt can pull this down and shoot. You saw what he was aiming for. He very nearly found it.
Great awareness. Spotted very early that Ian Marshall got under the ball. So he just took a step back. Instead of heading it, he says, I'll take this on my chest. Control was very good. And look how close he comes. The opening his account. Great effort. There's no doubt in it. And where it matters, Martin, in that penalty area, that Tottenham have looked the far more dangerous side today.
Sedgley.
Come here.
That's crafty work from Caskey. Trying to prove he has a place in Tottenham's future. Of course, it's no secret that Ardiles has to unload some of a very big playing staff. Paul Allen has gone to Southampton, of course. Pat van den Hauwe left recently to go to Millwall. Some of the lesser lights have gone, like Ian Hendon as well. Here is Caskey. Marshall. For Kiwomya. Pressed by Mabbutt, but able to link up with Whitton. Mabbutt's there.
It's happened too often, Martin, and that 20 yards from goal, a promising situation is just frittered away to nothing. Got to be more clinical in that last third, Ipswich. What a lovely run it was from Darren Caskey, and super pass from Calderwood, straight into his path.
Caskey setting off again from midfield, prepared to get well ahead of the ball, moving markers around, opening things up for others, if not for himself. Anderton. Samways. Sedgley venturing forward. Remember, he's playing at left-back now.
They've actually switched the wide men. Ipswich, Whitton has come over to the right-hand side. Paul Mason's moved over to the left.
Which is possibly how they would have started the game if Stephen Carr hadn't been picked to play at right-back for Spurs. Mason has played virtually the whole season since his move here from Aberdeen on the left of midfield. Anderton trying to hold ahead of Sheringham to stay onside. Just a case of fine-tuning there for Spurs.
It's a little bit unlucky. You could see them holding. They're desperate to keep themselves onside, but just loses his patience, Darren Anderton.
Durie. Ipswich very complimentary about their great rivals Norwich City and what they achieved last season. They feel they've set some sort of standards for the club here to aim at. An example to follow. But really 1993 hasn't been too kind for Ipswich. Kiwomya. Marshall. Whitton. Oh, Campbell's missed it. Mason. And it deflects off Sol Campbell in the end. Happily for Thorstvedt, straight into his grasp.
Again, though, they don't look to be going anywhere when they get in there. Only a mistake by Campbell allows them half a chance to get a ball across the box.
Caskey. Anderton. Caskey getting in front of Wark. Anderton Sheringham wanting it in quickly. Anderton couldn't see a way to do that. Dozzell's got into the centre as well, and has Sedgley. Might be some room on the right for Ipswich here. There's Sedgley far from base. The pitch isn't wide enough for Ipswich to exploit that. But Andy, we were talking at half-time, and the word you used about the way Ardiles likes to put out his teams is risky.
Yeah, I mean, I think he always gives you a chance. I would always feel that getting in against one of Aussie's sides, because he preaches it from anywhere. If you can pass your way out, then pass your way out. I do think there are times when you have to sort of err on the safety side a little bit. But Aussie's teams, they always want to pass it, so it does encourage teams to push in against you, perhaps win the ball early up the field.
Marshall. Is this a lucky break that Ipswich need?
Again, it was a sloppy ball from Ian Marshall in the last third, and the move just comes to an end.
Some running repairs needed for Simon Milton. Of course, Ardiles has a pretty pragmatic character as his assistant, Steve Perryman, who knew about the value of a bit of bite in midfield.
I'll say.
I'm sure they've had one or two discussions on the theoretical lines, but Aussie, well, he's got the sharp brain of the lawyer that he was trained to be. He certainly knows what he wants. We see Tottenham play again on Super Sunday, next Sunday, at home to Everton. I must say I'm looking forward to it already. Sedgley. Stockwell intervening initially. Williams getting it to Milton, now to Thompson. Durie significantly has moved across straight away when Thompson starts to try and push on down that left-hand side. Anderton, lovely touch. Typical Tottenham in this move for Dozzell. 5 players forward. Anderton. Wark sticks out a foot. Stockwell really had to whip into that one before being tackled by Sedgley. Here's Whitton. Hope springing eternal for Ipswich. Thompson. It's going to be one of his blasts at goal. Well, it is, but not up to scratch, I'm afraid. And there were other options.
There were good options as well. Chris Kiwomya for one. On that normally very good left foot, Neil Thompson could quite easily have picked him out. Wasn't a difficult ball at all. But that, a little sign of desperation, I fear.
Well, let me tell you that, spread obviously either side of the summer break, Ipswich have won only 6 of their last 24 in the league, and in that time they've scored only 21 points. So there is anxiety here. It's been something of a checkered year after a very exciting return to the top division at the start of last season. Kiwomya, who was very much part of that. Stockwell. And a goal from Milton. They're back in business. Ipswich Town.
Well, you talked about them needing a lucky break, Martin. I think they get it here. Because for me, Chris Kiwomya's turning onto this on his own. He's looking to take that through. He doesn't get it, but Stockwell pounces on it. And this is a wonderful stretch from Simon Milton. As again, Kiwomya's looking to roll the defender and win on his own. But look how quickly Stockwell's on top of it. It gets a little flick there. Milton's at full stretch, and in it goes.
It's been a good few days for Simon Milton, the scorer in the Coca-Cola Cup here on Tuesday, and a precious equaliser in the Premiership against Tottenham. 1-1.
Probably one of the few times, in fact it is one of the few times that they had more than sort of one man in the box there. You notice they had 2 or 3 flying in there. They didn't have that often enough in the first half.
Samways. Well, from Milton, a step towards paradise being regained for Ipswich. It's Kiwomya. A second goal could be on here. Oh, and Paul Mason unaccountably has put it wide of the post.
Well, that's incredible. Absolutely. Kiwomya does everything right this time. He knows that Mason's coming up. He's had the look. He delivers a perfect ball. You can see what happened. Comes off Paul Mason's heel, the heel of his boot, and that's a pretty poor effort.
Well, Spurs grateful that they're not behind, having been the more assertive side. Sheringham. Wark wins it. Caskey. And again, advantage played. There was a foul by Milton on Caskey. Campbell trying to find an on-rushing Tottenham player with the cross. But listen to the change in the noise level here. There's been a little bit of lack of belief on the pitch, perhaps more lack of belief amongst the supporters who've had some sad times to endure. Ipswich. But they're singing now, and they would have been singing even louder if Mason had given them the lead after Milton's equaliser.
A lot of people may have thought that Chris Kiwomya looked offside when he went through on it. The important part of the move was that although Ian Marshall went up for the flick on, he made no contact with the ball, and therefore Kiwomya was still onside from the initial pass.
Here is Marshall, extra strength now. Mason. Marshall. It was Calderwood who blocked it, Whitton trying to weave a way through. And then it's too far ahead of Thompson.
Look at this again. Drives it across, takes a deflection here. But look how well Milton does. He's at full stretch. Eric Tosser can do nothing because he's committed to going back across the goal. And in conditions like today, his footing wouldn't have been great. Suddenly there's a different tempo to the game from Ipswich.
Dozzell.
But this game is really in the balance, because Tottenham are certainly good enough to get back in, a few passes, take the sting out of it again and control the game the way they were.
And up comes Forrest, all 6'5" of them. I think finds Marshall.
I mean, one or two of the Ipswich players were saying to Craig Forrest, hold the ball, I'd be saying to him, keep the tempo up.
Kiwomya trying to find Marshall in the middle. Well, suddenly Ipswich look an entirely different side. Fueled by the goal. Well, Tottenham, as we've said, give you a chance. Ipswich have taken one acrobatically by Simon Milton. But they failed to take the second straight away. How costly will that be at the end of the afternoon?
Well, it could have been costly to me, because you did tip 2-1 in there a little bit, didn't you, for Ipswich? Might just get booked for this, Martin.
Calderwood. Calderwood gets his second yellow card. He has to go. And everything is going Ipswich's way now.
Can't say I'm surprised. He could only have thought he was going off for this. Can't think what he's beaten totally there. And not only is he content with trying to pull Marshall down, he deliberately stops him making any progress with a handball. That's bad error of judgment from Colin Calderwood.
Durie with the header. Thompson. Kiwomya. Well, suddenly Spurs finding themselves in a sticky situation that they couldn't really have anticipated. But Calderwood, whose challenge in the first half on Marshall over the halfway line, was punished by Gerald Ashby. And the second bookable offence had only one outcome. You saw that referees now, with the clear indication that it is for the totalling of the offences, that he was sent off. Had it been a bad foul, for which a red card was an immediate punishment itself, obviously that would have been the card that was produced straight away, even if the player had been previously booked. It's 1-1. It's 11 against 10. Oh, and Forrest hesitated. Sheringham. Are the 10 men going to score here? Caskey. Anderton.
That was disappointing from Caskey's point of view. I think the young kid just didn't have a clue what he was going to do there when the ball was played back to him. Campbell made a lovely run from the right back position for Anderton coming across, and it ended up, a move that showed its promise, ended up with a hopeful shot from Darren Anderton. What's going to be interesting is whether Mick McGivern actually changes his formation a little bit. Because they love spare men all over the pitch, really, and it's important now that they put Tottenham under pressure, because even with 10 men, if they don't, Tottenham will do this. They'll pass the ball about deep, they'll suck them in. So it's important for Ipswich's point of view that they actually put pressure on the ball all over the pitch now.
Thompson's tackle.
Go on.
Flipped in by Campbell. Linighan knocking it down. Milton reacting smartly, as he had to do. Gordon Durie, a makeshift defender here. not on the same wavelength as Eric Thorstvedt.
I think the Cooter's quite happy with his decision. I'm not so sure Eric fancied that.
Particularly after what happened to him in the week. Sent off playing for Norway against Poland. Spurs with Calderwood sent off here. And Durie trying to stem the tide, but doing it unfairly.
Strange decision that for me, man. I'll talk about it after the free kick about Gordon Durie dropping him back in there.
Williams, body's in the way. Linighan. All Ipswich. It might stay that way. That's miss hit by Williams, not if they are as wasteful as that.
Talking about Gordon Durie moving back to the centre-back position, I mean, you'll correct me if I'm wrong, but in Jason Dozzell, don't they have a player who has experience of playing as a centre-back?
Well, maybe occasionally in his Ipswich time. Obviously, he played up front and predominantly as an attacking midfield player. Just looking round at what other options there are. Steve Sedgley, of course, could go there.
I just think when you've got people like Kiwomya running at you and you're an attacker and you're not the best at tackling, as he showed when he was wide of the penalty area, thankfully, there's always a big risk then there.
Ipswich drive on again. Mason to Thompson, it needs a good cross here. Sedgley didn't get there. Oh. Well, fractionally wide. Both Marshall and Milton thought that the moment was going to come their way.
I think they got in each other's way. I mean, Steve Sedgley would have been credited with an assist here. I think he goes up at the back post and heads it straight back towards his own goal. Milton wants to take the volley, Marshall wants to take the header, and they end up getting in each other's way. There you go, Sedgley misheads it totally. Milton shapes for the volley, which may have been the one to choose, but Marshall, you could see it, a striker wants a goal.
Here's centre-back Gordon Durie again. I suppose it's all part of the Ardiles' belief that if you're a good enough footballer, you can play anywhere.
I think that's right, but I think in the last 20 minutes of this game, there'll be an awful lot of defending to be done by these Tottenham players.
To drive it in early. Kiwomya was into the penalty area, but was always favouring the goalkeeper the cross. Well, at half-time, you might have felt that Ipswich would be happy the way the game had shaped up to get a draw, but in these circumstances, and given their recent run, they've got to feel it's a game that should be won from here. Very easy to say, 11 against 10 is never as easy as it sounds.
It's horrible because you have to change, that's what I'm saying about Ipswich. And you sometimes have to gamble and leaving 3 against 2 at the back, 2 against 1, and push an extra man forward. So often it's difficult to expose 10 resolute characters, especially crosses like that. Worked the position very well, and that certainly wasn't Neil Thompson at his best.
Now, having stood the previous cross up beautifully, that embarrassed Sedgley. He won't need telling.
That's what they can do now, though. They can say to Thompson and Stockwell, go on, just play a little bit further forward now.
Whitton. Here is Stockwell. Oh, Mabbutt, we do feel is going to be even more relied upon.
Needed a call from his goalkeeper there was no danger. Steve Sedgley just having a go at Eric Thorstvedt, quite rightly. A little call from a keeper and they could have let that run through to him. Instead, they're still under pressure.
Kiwomya from Williams, little flighted pass. Dozzell coming deep to deal with it. Williams again, lots of space for Neil Thompson. Whitton, who comes in where he can see the ball coming in from the wide position. He's one of the best around it, attacking it at the far post. Spurs hanging on here.
Again, I think they just get in each other's way. An earlier call from Whitton, and that would have helped Kiwomya.
Well, you think maybe they want to keep the ball away from the goalkeeper now and expose the absence of Calderwood. But there, on the spot, was Durie. Now what can Spurs do? Sheringham. 1-1 it finished, of course, in this fixture here last season when Tottenham were the team lacking in confidence after a rather insipid start to their campaign.
This has been a much better game than that, no, honestly, Martin. Far more to this game.
Anderton. Milton. Linighan. Ipswich trying to snap passes around and not dwell too much on the ball. It's a temptation to do that when you know that you're playing against a depleted team. On well by Milton. Stockwell's cross, not the elevation.
Pulled it behind his front line there.
Williams. Whitton. Samways has run it behind, it's a corner. Another little mini crisis for Spurs, particularly with Thompson to take it.
Well, he's not produced from these last two. A corner from this side and a cross from the other side now. He'll certainly be looking to produce a better corner from this side now.
Beyond Wark, that's Mason. Thorstvedt straining to reach it, he's done that though. And it's back where it started.
Good feet from the big man there. Very good feet. You look at him, he's at his near post, but look how quickly he shuttles across that area and palms it away.
Lucky to get a second chance, Thompson. Can he make more of it? Campbell, who of course we saw playing centre-back for the England under-18 team, but he's still staying on the right side of Spurs defending. He is a very calm character. He's just thought that if they allowed you to play with the Walkman on, he would. Linighan needing to keep his concentration at the back for Ipswich. Determined play for Tottenham by Caskey. Campbell, Anderton outside him. But, he stayed outside and wasn't moving inside. But Tottenham get the throw.
And honestly, I don't think Woodford Christie would have caught that pass that Sol Campbell attempted there.
Samways was caught out. Milton, Kiwomya, Marshall to his left. Kiwomya goes on, trying to just maybe tempt Thorstvedt to go too far to the goalkeeper's left and just slide a shot beyond him inside the far post.
I think a finish of a man who's not playing at the height of his confidence either, Martin. Always taking the ball away from goal, always making the angle more difficult for himself. A confident Kiwomya would have been far more positive there.
Marshall coming into the centre. Thorstvedt coped well enough. And Mason's cross.
Almost connect, don't they? Spots them very well. Marshall going in there, but it's about a foot too high.
Stockwell. Sedgley had given the ball away. Whitton. Marshall! They claim a corner, they get a corner.
Good defending from Sol Campbell. Had to be strong, had to be solid, and he was.
Durie doing well, first to it.
Can't help thinking that Neil Thompson's due a good corner. That's about the last four that really haven't gone in a threatening area.
That was getting better though, a couple of inches higher, and Durie could have done no more than flick it on. David Linighan right in there, of course. Oh dear, he's overdue now. Milton trying to slip it inside, Durie for Thompson to collect.
I think he should try one with his right foot next time.
Tomorrow night, FA Carling Premiership, live on Sky Sports. Wimbledon reaching for the heights, and a London derby against Queen's Park Rangers. Stockwell. Kiwomya. Stockwell to cross it. Not really to examine Tottenham then. Sheringham, who gave Spurs the lead in the 28th minute. But the second half has seen the game go away from Ardiles' team.
What a change in the game, Martin. Just at a time when you felt that Tottenham were really dominating the game. Suddenly that goal changed everything.
Milton, the scorer of it. Marshall, he's in here! The goal, the game run goes on!
But what super play by Simon Milton. Said about Gordon Durie in the centre-back, Martin. I think you'll see here, he steps out the back four to confront Milton. There it is there. Suddenly there's a big, big hole for Marshall. He's on line. Look, Sol Campbell's playing him onside. And now that is a finish of a man who is confident.
For Ipswich Town in the Premiership, played 5, scored 5. Ian Marshall, but he'd be the first to point out that Simon Milton, who scored the first for Ipswich, superbly set up the second. Anderton. And it's no time for niceties at the back. John Wark. To go. Tottenham with 10 men. Sedgley. Samways. Up goes the flag.
And now Tottenham have to go man for man at the back. They have to take the risk of losing another one to get back in the game. But let's look at it again. Look at this skill to be man. Look, Gordon Durie talking about a striker being back there. Suddenly there's a huge hole. He's so aware of Marshall's position. When goalkeepers go down, encourage players to lift it over them. Marshall was perfect in his execution.
And allowed to go on by a correct decision by the linesman, who saw Sol Campbell playing Marshall into a legal position. Simon Milton has been a real stalwart here, a late entrant into the professional game, coming from non-league football. And he's certainly been centre stage for Ipswich Town in the second half. Oh, a mistake by Linighan. Anderton, Wark knocks it away, and that was the last thing Ipswich needed. touch of overconfidence there.
Good play, Johnny Wark, really was. Saw the danger very early, and that's when an old head is so valuable in situations like that.
You Drumchapel boys stick together, don't you?
Of course we do, of course we do.
Oh, Linighan was lucky that Wark was there. Durie again. He would have sympathised really with what Kiwomya was trying to do, and he's done it often enough when he's been trying to snare the ball as an attacker. But you do have to say it is a puzzling decision that Durie has been in the middle of the defending since Calderwood was sent off, and I'm afraid it came home to roost rather in the way Ipswich got the second goal.
Such an important area of the pitch, Mark. They could have been flimsy elsewhere. I mean, wide, and you mentioned Sedgley.
And here's Sheringham. Spurs not out of it yet. And that is the trusty right foot of Thompson. He won't be taking corners with it, I can tell you that. But he's happy to use it to knock the ball out of harm's way.
He is, yes. He gets his position well, actually. This is always dangerous, but that could have gone anywhere. Caskey just throwing himself at it, hoping the ball hits him and goes into the net.
Sedgley trying to head it across goal. So important for Ipswich and the shape of their season, really, to end this really unproductive run. Frank Yallop, like Craig Forrest, the Canadian international, perhaps going to be required here. Sheringham. Not long by Thompson.
Now I'm sure they will ask their full-backs just to be a bit patient.
Bit of panic setting in for Spurs. Campbell miss-kicking. Oh. Milton trying to let it run for Marshall, so nearly came off. Durie getting a toe in. Manful play from Mabbutt. Caskey. All urgency here for Spurs. Anderton. Yellow shirts flooding into the Ipswich penalty area. For once, the delivery quite right from Darren Anderton.
Plenty blue and white back, Martin, though, as well there.
Bring it!
Campbell. 4 minutes to go. Sheringham. Oh, it's Linighan slipped. It must be a goal, and it's Jason Dozzell of all people. 2-2. Quite astonishing. He couldn't have written a better script. The former Ipswich favourite.
Well, this looks nothing. No danger at all. David Linighan follows the header, just clear it, loses his footing, pokes it past his goalkeeper. And the only thing Jason Dozzell's wishing is that was the winner, not the equaliser. But this, a real catalogue of misery for David Linighan. Not just once, but twice.
And great credit to Tottenham. Great delight for Dozzell. Not over yet. Linighan. And here's Sheringham. Surely Spurs can't steal it here with 10 men.
Oh, it's a wonderful game, this football, isn't it? You never know which way it's going to go.
And this match has sustained its interest and its quality right from the first whistle. Milton. Thompson. Williams, they look left, now they look right, Ipswich. And there's Durie, not getting much movement from his goalkeeper.
Furious with him as well. In that case, Durie's have the right to be. Just trying to shield it back to his keeper. He really looked rooted to his line there.
This time it's Mason taking the corner. And Gerald Ashby spotting pushing by Wark. Well, Terry Venable's team got a point here last season. Ardiles' team will be very proud if they match it in very different circumstances. Well, somebody other than Teddy Sheringham had to score an away goal for Spurs sometime, and the script is perfect for Jason Dozzell on a ground that he knows even better than all the players in blue and white today.
I'm just thinking, was it at that end in a local derby last year that a horrendous header by Brian Gunn presented him with a simple tap-in, very similar to that.
That's good work from Durie, who, if nothing else, has taken on the responsibility here. Maybe thinking of his later years in the game. Remember that time, boss, when I was centre-back at Ipswich?
And only made one mistake.
Yet. Ipswich trying to force him into another one. Milton. Williams. Tom going on the outside, shown that side by Campbell, but obstructed as the 90 minutes is up.
Oh, this really would be a finish if they could pop one in now. I'd take Craig Forrest up for this. I tell you, 6'5", he's got a chance of a header, isn't he?
Well, Milton, who's had some magical moments in this game, invited to try and win it for Ipswich there from the free kick. Dozzell's header, Thompson trying to crunch it back. Out it comes with Anderton. Plenty of Spurs players prepared to support him here. Sedgley one of them, Caskey another. Sheringham, of course, trying to get there. Darren Anderton, oh, and it's a corner when it could have been a cross to really catch Ipswich out.
That's a magnificent piece of football from Anderton. The only disappointing aspect was his delivery when it really mattered. Skipped past the defender there beautifully, and there's two men totally open. Look at the disappointment, and Sedgley and Caskey's faces there.
Well, it's summing up a splendid afternoon. Both sides having corners in stoppage time. Both going for the win, and Tottenham trying to do it with 10 men. It finishes 2-2. Ipswich find Jason Dozzell coming back to haunt them and to rob them of a victory that seemed really certain to be theirs after Colin Calderwood had gone off for his second bookable offence, and Ian Marshall had put Ipswich 2-1 up, keeping his goal-a-game record going. Simon Milton had equalised, but that mistake by David Linighan. Spurs, who'd scored first through Teddy Sheringham, and had the better of the first half. 6 league games now since their last victory. They'll be very disappointed, Ipswich, that they didn't see it through here. But given the gloomy forecast for Tottenham pre-season, just 2 defeats in 9 league games represents a great start, and Ardiles proud of his players here, the way they came back and the way that they are trying to put the new management philosophies into practice. It was a pleasure to be here, a pleasure to bring you the game. And Jason Dozzell will steal the headlines from Teddy Sheringham. They go off together. Ipswich Town 2, Tottenham Hotspur 2. Simon Milton not probably still quite able to come to terms with the disappointment that Ipswich would be feeling now. And a crowd of almost 20,000 out in the rain, and they can have no complaints, except, of course, the die-hard Ipswich fans who, realising the need for victory, will be really grieved that Jason Dozzell snatched it from them. The same Jason Dozzell who's now talking to Nick Collins.
Well, Jason, many congratulations. I suppose it couldn't have worked out better from your point of view.
Yeah, it's always nice to come back to the old club and score a goal. But, you know, we was under some pressure the second half. You know, they should feel a bit lucky. You know, we got a draw, but, you know, with 10 men, they put the pressure on us, really.
How much did the sending off, do you think, influence the outcome of that game?
I think so, because up to that point, the game was fairly even, really. But you know, the sending off, you know, they played the extra men very well, and deservedly went 2-1 up. But you know, the character of the team at Spurs at the moment is excellent. And we clawed our way back, and I know at the end of the day we deserved to draw.
Well, here's the crucial moment as far as you're concerned. A couple of minutes to go, and then the equaliser.
Yes, Teddy knocks it down brilliantly there. It's just a little mix-up with Linighan there. Couldn't really miss, really. But I'm delighted.
That extends Spurs' unbeaten run in the league. You're looking quite good at the moment, aren't you?
Yes, I mean, you know, in the past, Tottenham sides, you know, known for their, you know, soft touch, but, you know, we're showing character today, coming back from, like, 10 men down. If we keep that up, who knows? We might, you know, end up with a trophy this year.
Well, you got a few boos during the game, but I guess you got the last laugh today. Yeah,
that was expected. You know, I wasn't really too worried about that. All I'm concerned about is doing well for Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. You know, and I think I am doing that at the moment.
Do you think Spurs could sustain a championship challenge this year?
Oh, yes. We've still got a few injuries to come back, so, you know, once they come back, we're going to look a very forceful side.
Ipswich, of course, always a hard side to beat, so is this a point gained or 2 points dropped?
I think they played very well today in spells. They played some great football. You know, we didn't really make the pressure tell, but we hang on in there, and then I thought in the end we deserved a point.
All right, Jason, well done. Great equaliser today. Thank you.
Thank you, Nick, Andy and Martin. What a good game. Ipswich 2, Tottenham Hotspur 2. In a moment or so, we'll be looking back on the action with Alan Brazil and Ray Clements. Right, let's have a look at those match facts. 2-2 the final score. 17 shots from Ipswich, 8 on target, 9 from Spurs, 4 on target, and they were playing with 10 men for the last half hour or so. 8 corners apiece, only 7 offside decisions, 2 bookings, one of them Colin Calderwood, who of course was sent off. We're in the company today of Alan Brazil and Ray Clements. We'll go downstairs and hear from the man of the match, I think. Simon Milton is with Nick Collins.
Well, Simon, first of all, what's the feeling in the Ipswich dressing room? Disappointed at not winning or pleased that you fought back to get a draw, having trailed at half-time?
Well, at half-time we were struggling a bit and they were playing some good football, so a draw seems a good result now, but after going 2-1 up and them down to 10 men, we're very disappointed. We needed a home win, we needed 3 points. We ain't had that, you know, 3 points for a while, so we're very disappointed.
Dug in really well in the second half, though. The whole team seemed to really try and lift themselves.
Yeah, I think that's the manager's fault. He sort of come in and said, come on, look, you've got to get to grip with this team, because if you don't, they pass the ball around you and you end up chasing shadows. It was going to be difficult, but we've come back, got to 1-0, and then they've got a man sent off, and after going 2-1 up, we should have killed the game. We've done it in midweek against Cambridge. We went up and then let them come back into the game, and we've done it again, and so, as I say, we're disappointed.
You mentioned the midweek game against Cambridge. You scored in that one. Scored today as well. You're having a good little streak at the moment.
Well, today was a real goal because the other night, Tuesday night, was just a cross that found its way in the back of the net. But I'm happy. I'll claim it. So 2-2. I'm quite happy with that.
Well, here it comes.
Yeah, the ball's gone wide to Mickey Stockwell, and really I'm just trying to get into the middle of the box. It's come across. I've watched it all the way. I haven't got a real good touch on it, but it's just enough to put it in the corner. It was nice to see it go back in and get us back in the game.
It took at least one deflection coming across to you there.
I'm a bit disappointed that you said that. I think it went straight in. But, you know... As
no,
they
before it reached you.
It took a flick off one of the defenders as it came in. But so I had to keep my eye on it, but it was nice to see it go in the back of the net.
Well, you were full stretch for that. Also very much involved in the second goal, Ipswich's second goal, scored by Ian Marshall. Here we go.
Yeah, well, the manager's told me to sort of to have a go right at him, right through the middle, and I managed to get round Durie, who is a good striker, but I'm not sure about his defending ability. And so it was nice to pick out Ian Marshall and for him to get us 2-1 up. And obviously from then we thought we was going to go on to win the game.
I guess it's typical when you're not winning, that kind of thing happens. A late equaliser is conceded. 5 games without a win. If you hadn't had a run like that, presumably you probably feel you'd have gone on and won that.
Well, that's what you say. When you're doing bad, you don't think you get any good luck. But we've had some luck, so we're not too worried about that. We just need to get a few more points because we're slipping down the league at the moment, and that's not where we want to be.
Well, it was terrific entertainment for the spectators. Did it feel a good game to be playing in?
We felt a lot better in the second half. I think it was one-way traffic first half, and they passed the ball around, and we never really done enough. Created a couple of chances, but I thought there was only one team in it. And the managers give us a roasting at half-time, and I think we come out, took the game to them, and I think we was in control, which is why we're so disappointed at the end, just to get a point.
Well, Ipswich foiled by that late equaliser, but as a small consolation, Simon, you've been voted the Carling man of the match. There you go.
Thanks very much. Thank you.